Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another tumbler tutorial. In this video, we're going to make a brushstroke patina kind of ish tumbler, but we're gonna make it pink, of course, and we're gonna go with a little bit of a like disco cowgirl country theme. I had so much fun making this tumbler and I hope you all enjoyed the video. As always, if you do, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you are not already, and be sure to check out the description box for a full supply list, all of my discount codes, a link to join my mentorship group, and a link to my website. So check all of that out if you want any more information, and I think that's it. I hope you all enjoy this video. Let's go! For this design, we'll be using a prepped True 22 tumbler from the Tipsy Magnolia, and I'm going to start out by spraying it with some rubbing alcohol just to clean off any debris or anything that's on here. Because this is a pre-prepped cup, we don't need to do any sanding or anything. I'm just going to wipe this down and then we can get right into our designing. So to start, I'm going to base paint my tumbler. I'm going to use acrylic paint from the Delta Creative Ceramcoat brand. You can get this at Joann's or on Amazon. This is my favorite paint of all time. The coverage is amazing and it's really affordable. So head to Joann's or Amazon and grab some. The color I'm using for this design is Think Pink. We're also going to use a few different colors of the same acrylic paint a little bit later. But to start with the base, we're going to go in with this super pretty bubblegum pink color. I let that base layer of paint dry for about an hour, and then I was ready to add my next little set of textured brush strokes, or I guess my first set of textured brush strokes. So I'm going to take some different pink paints here and put them onto my little sheet. I'm primarily going to use that really bright kind of darker pink up at the top and my white, so you can just ignore those two colors down below. I'm going to dip in first to the pink and the white, and you can see here that I'm going to go right onto my tumbler. Now, one thing I wish I would have done during this step is put some paint onto my brush and then really blot out that paint before I put it on the cup, because what we're looking for here is more of a like dry brush, really textured look. We don't necessarily want really full, even, like smooth coverage, if that makes sense. We really want that just like rustic brush stroke. So put some paint on your brush, dab it off on your paper or your plate or whatever you're using to hold your paint, and then brush it onto your tumbler. Now, when we do our next set of brush strokes, you'll kind of see what I mean and you'll see how different it looks. But what I'm going to do here is just add a little bit more pink. I'm not going super crazy with this step because we are going to add a little bit more white later, and that's really going to bring the brush stroke look to life. So I'm going to put this on, let it dry for another hour, and then we can go in with our white. Okay, so now that that pink layer is dry, we're ready to go in with just the white paint by itself. So I've got a new chip brush, and this is a smaller one. And you can see I dipped into the paint and then I got most of it off of the brush before I went to my tumbler. And the difference is amazing. You can really see the texture and kind of the wear and like weathered rustic look. That's what we're going for. So I'm going to add a lot of white paint to my tumbler because I want that rustic look, and I didn't really get it when I did the first layer with the pink. So I'm going to do some white. I did go back in with a little bit of pink and my different chip brush to break up the white a little bit. I had a section that was kind of big. I didn't really like it very much, but I'm just going to go in with this white and do essentially the same thing with the brush strokes. I'm just dabbing off any extra paint to really get that dry, like almost like patina look, kinda. You guys can see what I'm talking about, and hopefully that makes sense. I let this paint layer dry for maybe about 30 minutes because the paint was really thin, and then I was ready to add my gold leaf. Now this step is completely optional, you don't have to add this, but I feel like it gives it a little bit of a more glamorous feel, you know? So to apply these gold flakes, I'm going to use a glue stick. You can also use any sort of foil adhesive that you have, but for foil flakes, I feel like it's really easy just to grab a glue stick and put them on. So I did a small little section with my glue stick, and then with a gloved hand, I'm going to grab a little bit of my gold flake and just put it onto that spot, and then I'll rub the excess off with my finger. You can also use a brush, and I'll do that here in just a second to get any of the excess flake off. You're really looking for just this look right here. You want it to kind of look like a brush stroke, even though we're not using a brush, it still will look like that. And then you just want to rub off any excess so that you don't have any like pokey bits or anything really sticking up. So I'm really going to brush off any excess, get that foil flake to lie as flat as possible, and then we'll move on to the next spot. So these gold flakes are a really good way to cover up any imperfections in your painting. So there were a few areas on my cup where I had a random bump or something on there. So I just covered all of that up with the gold leaf, and you can't even tell in the end. After the foil flakes were applied, I let my cup sit for about 30 minutes, and then I mixed up some epoxy and applied a coat to the tumbler. I did not seal the gold flakes, although I probably should have. We did have a tiny little bit of movement, just some random little flakes moving around here and there. In the end, it didn't really matter, but I would recommend either spray sealing your flakes or doing some sort of sealer before you add your epoxy, just so you don't have to deal with any of those flakes moving around. For this coat of epoxy, I'm using my Flynn Sisters Fast Cure epoxy, and this coat is about 20 milliliters. I'm going to let this spin for probably between 8 to 10 hours before I'm ready to touch it, but once this is cured, we'll be ready to do all of our vinyl work. Before we start adding our decals, I am going to clean up the top rim of the tumbler just with my craft knife really quick. Just going to run that along the top rim of the cup, and then I'll wipe the cup down with some rubbing alcohol. I'm not going to do any sanding at this point because the decal and the vinyl we're going to use are both semi-transparent, so they're printed on clear vinyl, and if we put clear vinyl over a dull sanded surface, when we put epoxy over that area, that spot won't shine back up again once the epoxy is added. So you want to make sure that you have a clean, shiny, and smooth surface before you add any clear decals or water slides or anything clear to your tumbler. So once I've wiped my cup down with my rubbing alcohol, I'm ready to apply all of my decals. The main decal we're using here is from the Vinyl Cottage, and it says, "In Dolly we trust." It's so freaking cute. It's the decal that inspired this entire design, honestly. I love it so much. So what I'm going to do basically is just treat it like a sticker. I'm going to peel it off the backing, find a place on the tumbler that I want to put it, and then just stick it right down. So all of those clear areas that you can see will disappear once we add another coat of epoxy on top. So don't worry about the seams or the edges or anything because you won't be able to see them in the very end. Now to make this disco cowgirl, we're going to add some really cute, colorful disco balls, stars, and flowers. This sheet of vinyl is from BAMF Custom Creations, and I'm going to just cut everything out and treat each piece like an individual decal. Of course, if you want to, you can just wrap the whole sheet of vinyl around your tumbler, but I wanted to just cut everything out individually and place things where I wanted them to go. But either way, doesn't matter. You can also just not do this if you're not feeling the disco vibe, but I'm very into disco balls lately, so I thought they would be perfect to add to this tumbler. So I'm just going to cut everything out one by one and just hand place everything around the cup. And I'm just going to fill in as much space as possible and really just make this a fun, colorful disco cowgirl cup. After my cup was full of disco vibes, I was ready to add my next coat of epoxy. Into this coat of epoxy, I'm going to add some glitter. Of course, I could not make a cup and not add any glitter to it. So into my epoxy, I'm going to mix a little bit of Chantilly from Peachy Olive Glitters. This is a really pretty fine cut, super sparkly white. And I'm just going to add a super tiny amount like you can see there. And then I'll spread my coat of epoxy onto my tumbler. So this coat also is about 20 milliliters. So just keep that in mind if you are adding glitter to your coat as well. You want to make sure that you're not using so much glitter that it's really going to overtake your design. You just want a slight little sense of sparkle, of course. After this coat was all done, I added one final coat of epoxy to my tumbler, and that's it. We are all done. So here is the final design. I had so much fun putting this tumbler together and I really love how it turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like the final design. Of course, let me know what you think down below in the comments. And if you like the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of my new videos. And if you recreate this design, please be sure to tag me in your posts at Made by Manny and Mal so I can show you some love. Okay, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Made by Manny and Mal. You can join my mentorship group at the website on your screen. I'd love to have you in the elite fam. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you are not already so you don't miss any of my new videos. And while you're here, here's another video for you to check out. I want to say a huge thank you to my channel members and my elite fam members. You guys make this channel possible. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.